Hello and welcome back to CHGO White Sox pregame show presented by PointsBet. Use promo code CHGO when you sign up to get 2 risk-free bets to up to $2,000. And welcome in to Studio A in our West Loop studios here, the CHGO studios. Beautiful Sunday afternoon. Well, yeah, it is afternoon. 12:01. That makes it afternoon. Oh, man. It's so great to be with you. My name is Herb Lawrence. You can follow me on Twitter, Ecknerwall23, Lawrence spelled backwards 23. That guy to my left, he is the CHGO White Sox beat reporter. It's Vinnie Duber. You can follow him on Twitter, at Vinnie Duber. Vinnie, how is your weekend going for yourself?
It's going delightfully. The weather has, it's come out. It's come through. It's been good. Certainly Friday was beautiful. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
And today, not bad either. Obviously, we had some clouds yesterday, but yeah, went. You know what? Summer is here.
Yes.
We had to go do a little summertime activity on Friday night. We went and stood in line, got some ice cream.
Oh, snap.
Went to the Freeze in Logan Square.
I know exactly where that's at.
It's like from the 50s. Good stuff.
I'm when you said stand in line, I was like, what place do you stand in line? It's like, yeah, right there on Armitage. You stand in line for a little tasty freeze, deliciousness.
Absolutely.
What'd you get?
I'm a big Oreo guy, so I had to go with the Oreo Freeze. It was real good.
I love those. I love Oreos. I think I had an Oreo rolled ice cream yesterday from one of my places. It's the second time I've had rolled ice cream. It's a thing.
See, summer is here. We're having ice cream.
I understand it. For a guy who's lactose intolerant, I took the L right there. And our producer Stephen Nicholas, what'd you do this weekend, sir?
Well, this weekend I was actually at my friend's place just yesterday at New Lenox. So I go over to my friend Donald and Katie's place, and they tell me they have this neighbor who's a huge White Sox fan, listens to all the podcasts. And I said, well, what's his name? They say Bill Vickers. And I remember that name from our chat before. He ends up coming over later on that night, and turns out he's a frequent listener. I think Billy Wire's in our chat. I'm pretty sure that's him. It's kind of hard to see his picture. But he said he'd be listening today, and I'm going to hold him to it. I think he is. And then his friend Brian Black came over as well. Another huge White Sox fan, another listener. So I'm just bumping into listeners on a whim, so that's great.
That's awesome. Thank you very much, Bill Vickers. I think I've met you multiple times. And KPW's in the house, even though he got his win against us when the Blue Jays beat the White Sox up there in Toronto. He's still watching our show. We appreciate that. Rex/Poppy also doing it. It's the 24-27 White Sox getting a victory yesterday. Let's recap the weekend. Friday, we were all doing different things. I was at a boat tour, then I went golfing, so I didn't watch the game like you. So maybe you guys didn't see exactly what happened. But Davis Martin was called up because Vince Velasquez had to go on the IL and promptly gave up a 3-run home run to Randy Arozarena to make it 4-0 Tampa Bay Rays, and the White Sox just couldn't recover. They lost that game 6-3 eventually. And then on Saturday, yay, Dylan Cease. It's a little tough. 7 walks. Some say he was getting squeezed, and I saw a couple of those pitches. I was like, no, umpire behind the plate was not doing his job. But 7 walks is not because of the umpire's fault. Dylan Cease just didn't have it that day. But the offense picked it up from him as Danny Mendick with the RBI single in the 8th, followed by a Jake Berger 2-run home run. Vinny, I don't know if you watch any of these games, but getting a win was much needed on Saturday for this White Sox team who was just struggling all the way through this road trip.
I mean, you want to end a losing streak, obviously, but what have we talked about so much when it comes to maybe waking up this offense is just getting a moment, getting charged up, and certainly Jake Berger's home run could count as one of those. You saw the reaction in the dugout after he hit that, and they seemed like they were like, oh, finally, something goes right. And, obviously they still only scored 3 runs.
Yes.
They had 3 hits before the 8th inning. It was not the 10-run outburst that some of them have been saying that it would be nice to get one of these days, but a win is a win, and a moment like that, to win it late, a clutch moment, could do something. We'll see.
Just want to ask you, I know he hasn't played the position as yet since Tim has gone down, but Danny Mendick, and you brought up this number, he's 8 for 16 since his call-up. So that is 500, 529, and 563 slugging. He's just crushing the ball. Short sample size, but a lot of White Sox fans, including myself, are thinking, second base is not solidified. It's, not getting a lot of production from either Josh Harrison or Lurie Garcia. When Tim does come back, is it a thought of the front office or Tony La Russa that maybe that Danny Mendick might be a guy that is in that mix. Not the designated starter, but a guy that gets more playing time than not.
I'm sure it's very much in their minds. I'm sure it's very much a thought right now because they're looking for any production they can get. Now, that being said, we still got probably a little bit more than 2 weeks before Tim Anderson comes back. A lot could change in that amount of time because, like you said, Danny Mendick has had success, but he's done it in a very small sample size, really hasn't been getting any sort of regular playing time until the last week or so. So it's something that today makes a ton of sense. You know, if you had everybody healthy today, go ahead and run Danny Mendick out there as your second baseman. Why not? He's the hot hand at the moment, but we'll see if he's still that hot hand in 2 weeks.
And let's check out today's lineup. Tony La Russa actually rewards Danny Mendick for a great job. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that, Stephen. Before we get all to that.
Look at the point.
Look at my man. Before we get to the lineup, let's talk about the official CHGO tailgate, June 22nd at 11:30 a.m. You get the tailgate. You get the food, the drink. You get to chat with us, me, Herb Lawrence, Vinnie Duber, and our guy Sean, who's up there in Lake Geneva just having the time of his life, taking pictures in front of signs. He's a weirdo. But you get to talk to all of us and some of the CHGO staff, you know, might make it out there for that game versus the Toronto Blue Jays. I'll be bringing some sausages in myself to fry on the grill. I will not be frying them because I don't know how to grill myself because I've been living in apartments for all my life. Can't have grills on my patio. So bring yourself $25 for the game ticket and the tailgate. Got drinks for you guys. It'll be a great time had by all. We'll be talking. We'll be pouring back a couple of drinks and then having some good stories. Even if the White Sox lose, we're gonna have a great time because we're gonna do some post game too. Not official. That's unofficial with me and all y'all, but, you know, the official thing is me, Vinny, and Sean for the tailgate and for the game. Are you excited for that, Vinny?
Absolutely. Should be a good time. I don't get to spend much time in the seats.
Yeah.
So, it'd be nice to soak up a little sun for once when I'm at work. That'd be nice.
I mean, I am enjoying this weather. I wish we could just stay, like, right here in this pocket for June. I know Chicago goes from winter construction into hell. This on Friday, it was a Chamber of Commerce day. No, not a cloud in the sky, about 75 degrees. A little hot for my liking, but whatever, I'll take it. Choosers can't be what is it? Beggars can't be choosers.
Beggars can't be choosers. Yes,
that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, yeah, it's hot, but it's better than the 30 that we've been getting. So let's get back to the lineup. Actually, Steven, sorry about that. We got somebody pointing, Steven?
Of course
he's pointing.
Jake Burger's pointing himself. He had a big home run yesterday.
The Meister Burger's pointing right at his name.
And I saw his fiance and their dog at Tampa Bay yesterday after the game on the field with the hero Jake Burger. So we'll start it off with Danny Mendick getting actually rewarded for his great play as of late. He's batting leadoff. I don't think anybody has a problem with that. He's playing shortstop. Second place hitter is the right fielder Andrew Vaughn. Luis Robert will be in center field batting third. Our designated hitter for the day is Jose Abreu in the cleanup spot, and that man pointing at himself. He knows he'll be playing third base. It is Jake Burger batting fifth. Yasmani Grandal playing first base, batting sixth. A.J. Pollock playing left field and batting seventh. And the eighth place hitter is Reese McGuire. Will be doing the catching today, left-hander, the only left-hander, the exclusively left-hander in the lineup versus Yarbrough, who is a left-hander. And ringing it out is Josh Harrison at second base. That lineup, for what it is, I'll take it. As a lineup-ista, let's go. I love it. That gives you the best chance to win today. What do you think about that starting lineup? And Tony going with a couple guys like Jake Burger and Danny Mendick, who have been helping the team as of late.
Again, hot bats got to play, and it's actually kind of funny. I mean, I think we've thought about Jake Burger as being so good since his last time he was called up, and really, you look at the numbers. I think he's hitting like 230 or something like that. Like his on base percentage is just over 300. Like he's not exactly on fire or anything, but it's moments like last night, and that was a pinch hit at bat too.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think Jake Burger, if everything is going right for the White Sox, his best value is as that bat that can come off the bench and really deliver in a moment like that. And boy, did he last night. While Yoan Moncada is struggling or struggling to get back to full health, we should say too. Yeah, go ahead, put him at third base and give him his opportunities because this team's got to score runs. This team's got to get back in it, and the way to do that is by playing the guys who are hitting and Who knows? Maybe Danny Mendick and Jake Berger combined to go like 0 for 8 today. But you got to roll them. You got to roll them out there because they're getting it done right now.
The process is good, and Yoan Moncada is struggling, so he'll be on the bench today. I would like to see a little bit more Adam Engel, but the three guys they have in the outfield, I want to see play a little bit more too. And Vaughn, there's Pollock, and then of course Luis Roberts. So where are you going to play them? So beggars can't be choosers in that regard too. The best way to support CHGO is to download the PointsBet app and use code CHGO when you sign up. If you do that right now, you'll get 2 risk-free bets for up to $2,000. But that's not it. If you make a $50 or more first-time deposit, you'll receive a free CHGO membership, which unlocks all of our web content, from Vinnie Duber and other writers that we have here. Jarrett Willis doing the Cubs stuff, Ryan Herrera doing Cubs stuff, Adam Hogue doing the Bears stuff, Matt and Dave doing the Bulls stuff with Will Gottlieb. All that stuff will be unlocked to you. You'll even get a free t-shirt of your choice from the CHGO locker room. That's $2,000 in free bets, a free CHGO membership, a free t-shirt from the CHGO locker, all for making a $50 or more first-time deposit at PointsBet. If you have any questions, you can email PointsBet at pointsbet@allchgo.com, and we'll help you out. PointsBet is your home for live in-play betting, and it just got better. Introducing PointsBet's new feature, Live NBA Same Game Parlay. For the first time ever, you can build your first live NBA same-game parlays only at PointsBet. Combine your favorite bets anytime during the game. You want more? You can also boost your live same-game parlays. Watch live, parlay live, boost live with PointsBet. And now, online sign-up is available in Illinois. You can download the PointsBet app right from your phone and register your account from start to finish. So what are you waiting for? Once the game starts, don't just bet. Live your best bet life with PointsBet. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-522-4700. The pitching matchup for today. Oh, we got our people back. I don't like to mention them, but man, they're always here. They can't stay away from CHGO White Sox, Steven.
Every walk of life loves the White Sox.
Immediately I see it. I'm pulling out my laptop to block it again. Naked HD is a really frequent follower of ours.
They love us. I mean, the pitching matchup today, they probably will like this pitching matchup as Lucas Giolito, 3-2 with a 3.61 ERA going against Ryan Yarbrough. I got to say his name like that the whole time.
Well, in Tampa down there, too, it's
exactly.
All of, he's pitching in the right place.
Walk the plank, me matey. 0-2 with a 4 ERA. Lucas coming off his toughest start of the year. What do you expect from Lucas Giolito today? I only expect excellence from the guy because he gets mad whenever he gives up runs, and he gave up 6 earned his last start, Vinnie.
Yeah, I mean, he's a guy he's one of those 3 guys in that rotation right now that you should be expecting, a very good, high-quality start every time he goes out. I mean, he's a guy who has shown that he can bounce back from some of those bad moments and can really turn it on. And not only that, the thing I've noticed about Lucas over the last few years is he really steps up on a bigger stage. You know what I mean? He steps up against high-quality opponents. Last year in Tampa, I believe, was one of his best starts of the season. He's a guy that can take on any offense. It really doesn't matter who what the opposing jersey says. He's going to go out there and give it to anybody that comes out there. So we'll see. Obviously the trend of the last week or one of the storylines of the last week has been that these starting pitchers have not really been the kind of guys that they were through the first couple months. Obviously Dylan Cease yesterday with the walks. You mentioned Lucas in Toronto, Kopech in Toronto, right? And so the White Sox have to see this kind of turn around or be kind of a blip on the radar because the starting pitching is what has carried them. And if that starts to kind of get a little rattly and get off the road a little bit, then they're in big trouble. So, but I don't think you should expect that from Lucas today. I think you should expect a nice bounce back performance.
And if we get that bounce back performance, Jesus Shuttlesworth's talking about exactly what I was about to say. Yarbrough isn't a very good starter, but the Sox, he's probably good for 7 innings, 2 runs or less. They are great at making average or the bad pitchers look great. He is a very, very average pitcher. His fastball is an average 86 miles per hour. Mostly he's throwing his cutter, which is 83, 70 miles per hour, changeup and curveball. A guy who's just allowing you to hit it and inducing weak contact. That's what Ryan Yarbrough is all about. The White Sox shouldn't strike out a lot because they don't usually strike out a lot. But they should be getting to these guys and doing what you usually say. String together a couple of those innings, those crooked innings against Ryan Yarbrough because he's not featuring much.
They got one last night, but the problem was that it was isolated. And I mean, you say it was the problem. They won the game. But again, the 7 innings before that, they did nothing. And I think they've got to turn into this kind of team that can put up 2 or 3 of those kinds of innings in a game. And right now it's just not happening. So any day, every day is a good day to start doing it. If Jake Burger's home run was the spark that did it for him last night, then maybe you'll see a big day from him today, something that they have been craving, something that they have needed, something that they have done like one time this season. They need a big win, and the Rays are good. It might not be the easiest team to do it against, certainly, but we'll see kind of what the effect could be of that Burger home run last night.
And I know we talked earlier about Jake Burger, and right there, fans are out there talking about when Yohan is struggling like this and when Yasmani Grandal is struggling like this, we should be bypassing them in the lineup. You see Yohan getting a day off today in Tampa, and then he can, it's actually St. Pete, right?
It is St. Pete, yes.
Okay, so I don't know why they call them Tampa Bay Rays.
Tampa Bay is a region.
Okay,
yeah.
It's not even a thing. It's just Tampa.
It's like the New England Patriots. Yeah.
Yes, call them St. Pete. That's much better. But these two guys are struggling in a regular everyday lineup. They would be playing every day, no doubts about it, but they're struggling right now, and fans are clamoring for their backups. But as you said, Jake Burger's only hitting like 230. It seems outside because he keeps on coming up with big home runs, and people are like, okay, I see that, Jake Burger. Is there any talk, is there any panic right now from the White Sox, from Yohan Moncada, about how they're playing, and then maybe being a change there where you're giving Jake Burger almost an equal amount of time than Yohan Moncada playing third base?
I don't think that seems terribly likely, but at the same time, different guys have different ways to solve these kinds of problems, right? Or there are different solutions that you can throw throughout the year when things are not going right. Yohan Moncada right now is getting a day off today, and maybe Tony sees that as a way to kind of give him a break, give him a breather, and see what happens on Tuesday. They love backing up the off days with other days off for these guys to give them multiple days in a row. But also too, remember, Yohan was just dealing with that quad issue that knocked him out for a few days. Maybe that is health related, him being out today. Give him a rest for that reason. Get him back to 100%. Sometimes the solution is to keep throwing them out there. Reps. Get them reps. The more they can see, the better. We heard, that Yasmani Grandal is not maybe completely all the way back from the knee procedure that he had in the offseason. That could be a pretty big explainer as to why his first 2+ months have looked the way they've looked. So I don't see... Certainly I don't see Moncada turning into their backup third baseman. And Grandal is never going to be off the top of that catching depth chart. But at the same time, as everybody who's watched this team all year has noticed, that playing time has been drastically different than we thought it was going to be, or than you would assume it was going to be. Probably now we know it's because of those knees. But the way they've been playing or splitting up the catching duties for the first 2 months, you're basically seeing what happens when Yasmani Grandal is not the quote-unquote everyday catcher, which obviously at that position there's no such thing as an everyday catcher, but as close to one as you can get. So you've seen the way that they've divvied up the playing time behind the plate. I don't see a huge change to the way they're divvying it up at third base either. Again, Yohan Moncada's defense is so good over there that you would think that it would still be a detriment to remove him from that position. That said, if Jake Burger is going to keep hitting clutch home runs and Yohan Moncada is going to keep batting 130, then they've got some decisions to make as the season goes along. I think the idea is they hope they don't have to make those because they're going to expect Yohan Moncada to turn things around offensively.
And with Yaz's knee problems, it's not a thing where the IL will help him because he has to build up strength in that knee. So he has to play through this thing. Is that correct?
Well, I mean, I think you've seen him playing through it, right? So certainly what you said makes logical sense. I think hearing that from him or Tony or Rick would maybe be more definitive. But you've seen him playing through this. I think he had the knee procedure with the idea being he could be available as much as possible for them this season. And I think the plan was, as the season went along, had Yasmani been hitting the way that you would expect Yasmani to be hitting, that he would increase the frequency of times behind the plate for him as he got back to normal, got back to 100%. We haven't seen that yet, and so you're seeing the playing time divvied up the way it is. like I said, there's different strategies to try to get guys turned around. Sometimes giving them a break works. Sometimes trotting them out there every day works. And I think they just have to keep trying, maybe a combination of both with both of those guys until those numbers go up.
White Sox probably have to feel really good about themselves. They've been playing like crap, absolute crap. But there's still 5 games within the Minnesota Twins who are not going to be running away. As I said before, guys, the White Sox will win this AL Central. That's a definitive statement for me. You come back to me in October when it's all said and done and say, I told you it didn't happen, Herbert. But I'm putting it down right now. The White Sox are winning this division because the teams in front of them are no great shakes, and they have not played the White Sox their best ball, not even close to it. They haven't even played like their half best ball yet. And so they're due to set some things up. And like you guys said, Vinny, like 130 for Yohan Moncada is not even close to what he does. He's not doing the on-base thing. He's not doing the power thing. And I know last year his power is kind of zapped, but he's dealing with both an oblique, a quad, still after effects maybe of COVID. We don't know what COVID brings to the table because this man has been struggling ever since he's had it. So I'm very, very, very happy this week that the White Sox have finally shown some life. Even though it was a 3-2 game, it was exciting. I know there's problems on the White Sox, and they only got 3 runs. But yesterday's game, at that home run in the 8th inning, I was like, yes, finally some clutch hitting. We're finally here where this game is actually fun. We're getting great defense from Danny Mendick. That play where it's a bang-bang play, and he has to charge the ball, and they throw him out, and they go to the replay, and they still see that he's out. I'm like, yes, finally all the bad stuff is happening to the other team, and all the good stuff is finally happening for the White Sox. It's a turnaround, and I don't...
In that one inning.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
And I don't want to make a grand pronouncement because they can go out today and get shut out by Ryan Yarbrough, and Lucas could have another bad start, which I don't believe he will. But yesterday, it was just so refreshing to see them actually... I mean, they don't know they care, but do something. They were losing the whole game. It was a lifeless team, only getting 3 hits up to the 8th inning, as you said, Vinny, and then just, all right, let's win. Let's go and do this. And Liam Hendricks, for not pitching for a whole week, looked crisp. It was good to see him out there. Kendall Graveman struggled, but he got out of his jam. We're all back yesterday. That was the type of game that we expected to see all year long, and it's good to see the White Sox, even though they're in the midst of struggling, break out of it and get a victory. With the win today, they can both win the weekend series versus the Rays and the season series versus the Rays. That's a big, huge block to get over because they're trying to be a team like the Rays. They're trying to be a team like the Yankees, and going 3 of 7 versus the Yankees while losing still the series is a nice thing to see. It's like, hey, we went on the road and got 2 out of 3 from you Yankees, and now you can do the same thing versus the Rays. Anything to that, Vinny, where you just get one victory and you see, okay, we can beat the top-tier team, so now we can relax when it's versus the Guardians or versus the Royals or such teams in the division and play the games that we need to play.
Well, I'll tell you this. I don't think the players think that way at all. I think the players want to win regardless of who's out there, and I think they care more about the way they're playing than the results versus specific opponents, right? And I would also say this, too. You talk about winning 3 of 7 against the Yankees. It's a stepping stone. Winning, you take 1 or 2 against the Rays. It's a stepping stone. The White Sox set up the expectation that they want to be the best team in baseball. Mm-hmm. I think that they think in their minds that they should be beating all of these teams.
Okay.
That being said, too, get back to the point about the process maybe or the way they're playing being more important than the results. When they had that 6-game winning streak earlier in the season, what spurred that on? A game they lost. A game where they scored a bunch of runs in the 9th inning, but they lost that game. They didn't care. They were thrilled about the way they played in that inning, and from there, 6 wins is what followed. So I think that it doesn't matter who they're playing because they've got to go out and play well against the Royals. They've got to play well against the Tigers because we saw what happened when they didn't. Right?
Yes.
And that's losses that count the same in the standings as the losses they had against good teams who maybe quote unquote should be expected to beat them. They want to be the best team in baseball. They got to beat everybody. And when these big teams come to town and play them well, they always say, listen, these are the types of teams that we got to beat if we want to get to the World Series. These are the kind of games that we need to play, the kinds of pitchers we need to face if we're going to get that ultimate goal. I mean, you got to do it. And I think that right now it is about little victories because of the way that things have gone these first 2 months.
Yeah.
You got to get just a victory. It doesn't matter how, which way it comes right now.
One, yep.
But really in the end, I mean, if this team gets rolling, they got to keep rolling against Kansas City and Cleveland as much as they're going to try to roll against, the Angels and the Giants. Or I bring up the Angels; they've lost 10 games in a row.
Yes,
but teams that are better than the Royals and the Guardians, I guess.
And Rex Smith loves Vinnie keeping expectations high. Hell yeah, Vinnie is holding them to their own words. It's not ours. Rick Hahn, talk to me after the parade. They want to be the best, and that's a good thing. That's a really good thing that the White Sox want to be the best now. It's just showing it on the field. Let's get to our click to pick for today. I'm going with a guy that I always go with is Andrew Vaughn. They're facing a lefty, and Andrew Vaughn kills lefties. He kills righties. It doesn't matter. He's in the lineup. Andrew Vaughn should have a good day versus a soft-tossing lefty and Ryan Yarbrough. Vinny, who do you go with?
I'm going with A.J. Pollock, the pride of Notre Dame, basically because I feel like I'm cheating if I pick Jose Abreu every day. So I had to pick somebody else. And really, A.J. Pollock is one of those guys that needs to put it together consistently, and he's been better certainly than he started, but he needs to put it together consistently if this lineup is going to be deep. And I think that a deep White Sox lineup is what kind of we all assumed was going to be the case at the beginning of the season. It has not turned out that way because of some usual suspects not playing up to the level they're capable of. But a guy like A.J. Pollock, when he was acquired, you'll remember our reaction was, all right, that's the guy they needed to stick in this lineup to make it deep. Doesn't have to be their leadoff man. He can hit seventh. You know what I mean? But that's what makes it deep. So A.J. Pollock, he's one of those guys that has to get going.
Jesus Shuttlesworth's going with Luis Robert. Rusty is going with Pito. He's taking Pito from you. I know you wanted it. Other Sean,
take him every day,
who spells the name correctly, goes with La Pantera. It is a good day for the White Sox to grab a dub. And you know what La Pantera is going to do, Other Sean? He's going to steal a base today. And if you go on PointsBet right now, plus 1,100 to steal a base. Plus 1,100 for La Pantera, who I think has 8 stolen bases on the year, to steal 1 base today. Get your money right on PointsBet. It's all there for you. If you don't go right now, and it happens in the game, do not tell me that I didn't tell you. I said it. KPW, stop it. Stop it right now. KPW is going with Josh Harrison.
Josh Harrison might ride that imaginary motorcycle right into second base today. You never know. You never know.
Just stop it. It is the White Sox, 24-27, going against the good Tampa Bay Rays team. It's good to see the White Sox showing a little fight, even though they didn't win on Friday's game. They were down 4-0, made it 4-3, and then gave up a couple runs in the extra and 8th inning. They've had that a couple times in this road trip, I think mostly because of the bullpen not being set. Kendall Graveman missing the Toronto series, where that hurt them on Thursday, I believe that was, where they had to go to lesser players. But then Kendall Graveman comes back on Saturday night and delivers a shaky performance. He was all right. He got out of the inning, and with that play I just talked about from Danny Mendick. So we need to see more consistent play from our bullpen, more consistent play from our starters who have been faltering a little bit, and our hitters need to step up for our pitching staff and the whole team. The pitching staff has been carrying this team for the most part this whole year.
You know what I thought? So many fans, especially when it comes to balls and strikes, but everywhere, they watch an umpire and they go, how can you not be better at your job? How can you not do this? You know what I was thinking yesterday watching that play that Mendick made at first base?
Yeah.
How can an umpire make that call at all? How do you pick out or safe? It was so close. It was so impossible. Even on the replay, which they looked at, I thought it was like, okay, flip a coin. You know what I mean? But give them credit because at least they make a decision. I would have just been standing there doing this. I don't know. I got no idea.
I mean, wouldn't that actually be better? Like, guys, I don't know. Go and check the replay. We got cameras. You guys want it? Hell, but you're right. It was bang bang, and you just got to make a decision. You flip a coin in your mind's like out. That's half of them do that. I just get confused where you have those Jim Joyce type of moments where it's clearly out, and then you call him safe, and it's like, what have you been doing? I'm in Chicago. That's in Detroit. I saw that clearly. You're right there, Jim Joyce. Come on. At least he apologized. And KPW says, I'm trying to use my Daniel Lynch powers to help Harrison. KPW tried to help me with the winning lotto, but it did not work. Use your powers for good, for my pockets, for Vinnie's pockets, for Steven Nicholas's pockets. Don't do it for Josh Harrison to get multiple hits in a game. That doesn't help anybody except for Josh Harrison's pockets and him playing a little bit more. So the White Sox will take on the Tampa Bay Rays. It's Lucas Giolito versus Ryan Yarbrough. Hopefully the White Sox get a victory, win 2 out of 3 versus Tampa, win 4 out of 6 in the season series. We'll see you right after this game is done with a White Sox victory. Vinny, any predictions for this game?
I think they'll win. I think a lot of runs.
Okay, baby, let's go. I'm going with 4-0 White Sox victory. Lucas Giolito shoves for at least 9 strikeouts. The Tampa Bay Rays are vanquished. Finally. Steven, anything?
I'm going to go 5-2 White Sox.
Let's go. We're all positive because we've got our ace on the bump. We got Tampa Bay on the ropes. The White Sox will win today. Join CHGO post-game right after the game. Peace out, gentlemen and ladies.